Hi, this is David Ojeda with Fritz-Pak Corporation, and today we're going to be answering your questions on pump products. So if you're a concrete pumper out there, make sure you stay tuned and watch this video. And if you have any other questions about our products or concrete pumping, just feel free to comment or ask a question. And if we use your question in a future video, we'll send you some awesome Fritz-Pak swag. All right, let's get to it. What makes Slick-Pak a better primer than water? For some people, they can prime with water in their concrete pump or with their equipment their whole lives and never have a problem. Now, why is that? Well, some people are very lucky. They have really nice equipment. It's really well maintained. It's very, young and fresh. The mixes that they're working with are, straight cement, very rich in cement. The sands that they're working with, they've got natural sands, they've got river rock, they've got easy mixes, right? So when you have an easy to pump mix and you prime with water and it goes great, you might think to yourself, oh, water's fine. I don't need to use, anything else. But if you use different equipment, say older equipment or, stuff that's not as powerful that you're used to, more difficult mixes, mixes that have lower cement contents or, different supplementary cementitious materials, harsher aggregates, you're going to find, that it's more challenging to pump those mixes. And that's why using a product like Slick-Pak can make such a big difference. Now, why is Slick-Pak different than water? Slick-Pak actually clings to the pipe. So, in a future video, hopefully we can show you that water will just literally run right off the pipe. It's better than nothing. It's better than just straight like dry priming. But in terms of how it's going to coat the pipe, it's not going to do much of anything at all. Whereas Slick-Pak actually allows it to, form a protective layer around the pipe so that as you're pushing the concrete through, you're going to have significantly reduced friction. And you should be able to see that on the machines that are capable of showing you the how much line pressure you have as you're pumping. What is the difference between Slick-Pak, Slick-Pak Liquid, and Slick-Pak II? So the easiest way to think about it is, or what we call is good, better, best. Slick-Pak Liquid is good. Slick-Pak is better, and Slick-Pak II is the best. Now, what do we mean when we say that? Is really just viscosity development. So Slick-Pak Liquid will develop viscosity very quickly, but its ultimate viscosity development will be lower than Slick-Pak. And likewise, Slick-Pak will be lower than Slick-Pak II. So Slick-Pak II is, it's the Cadillac, it's the ace, it's the best. There's nothing better than that one. Now, why should you use, a different primer or one as opposed to the other? Well, again, it kind of has to do with, everybody's equipment is different. Everybody's mixes are different. It's always a function of your equipment and the mixes that you're dealing with that are going to determine which primer is best for you. The other thing you might want to consider is the length of the job that you're trying to prime for. So, line pumping is a good example. You might just have 2-inch hose, 50 feet of hose on the job. Slick-Pak Liquid's going to handle that no problem. And you might not necessarily need something as powerful or as much material as what Slick-Pak and Slick-Pak II can generate. But there's also issues where we have like a stationary pump and we're going 200 feet, 300 feet, 400 feet. In those situations, you want to be using something that's going to be really powerful, very viscous, and be able to prime a long distance. And that's why Slick-Pak II is going to work better in those types of situations. Can Slick-Pak be used in pool plaster applications? Yes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using Slick-Pak in pool plaster. Now, the only issue is with Slick-Pak, or in a pool situation, you don't want to be priming into a form. So, whatever you prime into, you need to be able to collect that prime and then throw it away. And then once you have the grout, you're good to go. Likewise, if you wanted to use it as, say, a pumping aid, so you're adding it integrally into the mix, you can do that. But I would recommend that you use a smaller amount than normal. You might only need to add like 1 or 2 tablespoons of Slick-Pak into about a 1,000-pound plaster batch in order to make it more pumpable. So just make sure that you're using the right amount of material. I use Slick-Pak to prime a mix containing a superplasticizer, and the pump still plugged up on me. What happened? So the short answer is you need to dilute the prime whenever you're dealing with a superplasticized mix. The very long answer is you have to think about concrete, the first slug of concrete that goes through. We call that the leading edge. And that leading edge is going to be in contact with the prime, or with the first prime. So when you have a mix that has a lot of superplasticizer in it, it's going to have a very low water cement ratio. So the amount of water that's available on that leading edge is going to be very small. So even if you primed correctly, you're still going to be losing water, or the primer is still going to be, sucking up some of the water from that leading edge, and that can still form a plug. So that's why in those situations, it's always best to dilute the prime to make sure that it's thinned out. We don't want something too viscous or too thick that can still lubricate the pipe without destroying that leading edge or sucking up too much water from that leading edge and forming a plug. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any other questions about pump products, be sure to mention them in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more information on how our products can improve your concrete.